financial jaga jaga. And you're like, oh, this thing is so far away. How does it affect me? Like, I'm so far away. So the funny thing about situations like this is when there's like a turbulence in developed countries' economy, there's sometimes a ripple effect on developing countries, right? It might be an indirect effect, but yeah, there is still an impact. So let me talk about bonds, the bonds of developing countries. So typically, you have some foreign investors that are based in these developed countries, and because in a developed economy, interest rates tend to be low, right? Interest rate, that is the amount of interest yields that investors get when they invest in things there, tend to be relatively low, right, compared to a developing country. And why is that? It's because of the risk. It's more risky to invest in countries that are not developed compared to countries that are developed. So some investors that have a large risk appetite, that is, they just want money, they put some of their investments there, but they also look for some developing countries that have potential, and then they buy the government bonds, especially Euro bonds. Some even go as far as buying local currency bonds. What I mean by local currency bonds are so the government of Nigeria, for example, wants to borrow money from the public, and then they issue an bond auction calendar, right, saying I want to borrow 1 billion, 20 billion naira, for example. I want to borrow 20 billion naira. They invite people to come, and then they put a minimum amount of money that you as an investor should bring to that auction. That's okay. You can't just go and say I want to invest 50k, like, you understand, at the auction now, right? So some of these guys bring money, and then they invest in local bonds of some countries. That's one. Some of them that don't want to, because you know what, when you're investing in Nigeria bond, it means that you're bringing your dollars, you're converting it to naira, and you're buying the bond. Some of them, because of the exchange rate risk, because when the investment matures, you're trying to move your money back, and you don't know what will happen in the future. If the exchange rate might have changed, and by the time you convert your money, you might have lost value, right? So some of them just stick to buying Euro bonds. So Euro bonds are, I'm saying a lot, I know. Euro bonds are bonds that are issued by can be anybody, any corporation or whatever, but they are still like bonds, but just that they are issued in a currency that is different from the local currency of the issuer. So let me use Nigeria as an example. Nigeria can decide that, oh, I want to raise 60 billion naira, right? So I'm sorry, $60 billion. So they go to the international market, and then they declare, I'm trying to raise $60 billion. So this time, investors from all over the world, not just Nigerians, everybody comes, and then they bring their dollars, they give it to the government, saying, I believe in you, take this money. Obviously, it's not for free. The government will be paying something called coupon, which is like interest, right, every 6 months to the people that invested in the Euro bonds. Now, coming back to where this whole thing started from, when turbulence like this happens in developed economies, some investors, out of panic, would take out their investments from developing countries as well, as far away as Nigeria is, as far away as Ghana is, as far away as other countries are, right? Someone in the US, a Russian investor, a US investor, even a German investor might just evaluate the entire thing, what's going on in the world, and say, you know what, I think I want my money to just be in my account, or I think I don't want my money to be far away from me because anything can happen. I don't know where this world is going. Sometimes it's just panic, and they just start selling. So that's the thing, you're holding a country's Euro bond or local currency bond, and you as an investor, they just start selling it, looking for anybody else that they can sell it to. And this time, because they are so desperate, they just want their money back. They don't even care about the interest anymore. They just want their money back. And maybe sometimes they will factor in the fact that they've already collected some interest before this crisis happened. So they don't even mind selling it at a loss to whoever it is. Maybe they bought it at $100, for example. They can decide to sell it at $60. And so people are selling your country's Euro bonds. Ghana, maybe Nigeria, Angola, and some other countries out of fear. Remember, these countries are not in any way close to Russia or Ukraine. It's just because you are far away, like there's something called flight to safety. You're just the risk, right? That's like an immediate reaction. People are selling off out of fear because of the global issues going on, like COVID-19. When COVID-19 started, something like that, something similar happened. So in these situations, you start to see the prices of those Eurobonds drop as well. Same reaction, starts dropping. Now, you again as a person will sit down and evaluate the situation. Is this really logical? Why are people going up? Is Nigeria really going to? Is this issue going to threaten Nigerian government ability to pay the Eurobond when it matures? Why are people running away? So that might be a good time for you as well to take on the local currency bond or the Eurobond. That is, if you're seeing that same impact in the local currency bonds, right? Just mention that this is what should happen under normal circumstances. But for us in Nigeria, over time, I don't really think that there's a strong relationship between our local currency bonds and our treasury bills and all of these things. So we might not really see that impact in our stock market, in our local bonds market, and in our treasury bills market. Any impact we see might likely be indirect. This is my opinion, right? Based on maybe historical data that I've seen.